Hey, congratulations for Superhost.
Thank you very much. It's a fun one.
It is a fun one. I do have to admit, it is a fun movie, and you are no stranger to horror movies yourself. So,
Yeah, no, I've definitely danced with a little bit of horror now, which has been great. And the fun thing about Superhost is that it was so different tone wise than anything I had done before. Which was, I mean, I suppose the closest thing would be, I did a thing called the Banana Splits movie that kind of sneaks into the comedic realm at times, but Superhost is still quite a different tone from that, different feeling altogether.
so what initially drew you to something like Superhost then?
Basically, I liked the script a lot. I'd worked with Brandon Christensen before, and I just really like him and Kurt as filmmakers, and I would pretty much do anything with those guys. So I read the script and I thought, yeah, this could be really fun. And also, the whole thing about a YouTube persona is so foreign to me. Like, it's so not where my comfort lies. So I was like, yeah, that'll be a challenge. That'll definitely be a challenge.
I was gonna say, you playing Claire, a YouTube personality, is totally different from acting. Could you distinguish basically one side is acting and the other side is sort of it's almost like reality scripting, isn't it?
Yeah, and Osric and I felt the same way actually about what a different skill set it is, and to kind of find the right personas. Also, the YouTube video in the house where they're sort of showing off the house that they're staying in, the vacation rental, is mostly improvised. So we were kind of constantly looking at Brandon and going, "Is this any good?" Because we both find that really hard. It's not at all the same as like embodying a character. And it's interesting because their personas, those personas are not us. They are these characters, but the personas are also not the characters. They are a specific thing that they do for their audience. So it's like one degree, it's like you're removed from yourself as the character, and then you're like removed from the character slightly as the persona. So it's like, yeah, it was really fun. But I think we were both kind of like, oh, this is this is tough. Like, this is actually, yeah, this is challenging.
So did you have to do some kind of YouTube preparation, like watching a bunch of videos, or trying to figure out how to handle your own camera work?
Yeah, we watched some famous YouTube couples to just kind of see how they interact with each other, because I don't watch YouTube like in my own time. So that was something that I had to like, it's like, oh, wow, interesting. Yeah, I find that quite a fascinating world. And it works for some people. It really works for them. It would not work for me.
Well, it sounds like this was an entirely different world, and it sounds like that you did a lot of improvisation. Is this something you're used to, or not?
Yeah. I mean, other than Brandon had written a lot of the script as is, including, there's a great scene where we're walking in the woods, like pretending to hold the camera that he had written, and we might have just tweaked it a little bit. But I grew up doing theater and training in improv, so given the chance to do it, which you aren't always in scripted TV or film, I always think it's really fun. I think it's, yeah, but yeah, with that specific like presenting the house, because we were finding, that house was great because it was filled with curious little nooks and crannies, but of having to find what we could actually incorporate as a tour was yeah, it was fun. But yeah, I like improv.
Well, then tell us more about this fascinating house that you had to fictionalize for a YouTube channel.
This set is really, I mean, it's not a set, it's a real house. It worked incredibly as a set because it feels sort of like it was built as two separate houses, but that they are in fact attached. Yeah, and also just the neighborhood that it's in, it's quite tucked away. It's massive. It's like really lends itself to I think a thriller type horror film. And you know, the 13 of us total, cast and crew, just spent the month up there. And you know, we would go back to the hotel we were staying at or whatever, but it just felt really contained, and it felt like we could actually breathe and take some space and some time with getting the scenes right, and you know, even sort of reformatting a few things and reshooting a couple of things to really get the tone exactly right. So I think we were quite lucky to have such an incredible house to shoot in, that we all had so much space, and also that it just gave us the time to really sit with the characters and not be sprinting from, you know, location to location.
Well, the house itself was a character in the film, but
Yeah.
tell us how you developed your chemistry with Osric. You know, trying to be like sort of like a social media couple.
Yeah, we met at the airport on the way down to Nevada, and we just got to know each other so quickly. Osric's, you know, he's quite charming and quite like playful and like really motivated, like extremely motivated. I don't know if his brain rests ever. He's like always thinking about the next thing, the next creative thing, the next he has so many things on the go in his life, business wise as well, that I really respected that about him. And yeah, it was, but you know, we talked a lot, actually. It was important to him that the proposal makes sense, and that he was still, you know, that the relationship hadn't become so detached that he wasn't just blindly grasping at straws. So we worked at that a lot to make sure there was still, the affection was still there. It's just, yeah, this YouTube channel has like really taken, especially Claire, her just, and I do see this happen in real life, of like, you know, the way she structures her day, the way she thinks about her day is about fueling this YouTube channel. And that maybe that doesn't.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Okay. Well, let me start to wrap things up with you, because I do want to mention talk about Gracie for herself, because her performance is I want to say it's over the top. Did you find when you were performing with Gracie, did you find it funny or scary?
I would say more funny. I would say definitely more funny. Yeah, I find her very funny. But I can also see, but you know, if I were encountering that for the first time, you know, I actually don't, myself personally, I don't like, my default is not to find behavior scary. Like, I'm usually more like, what is going on here? But I mean, that's kind of my job as an actor, is to look a little closer. So I think it was more that kind of thing, you know, like as myself personally. And I think Claire as well, I think she's certainly unsettled by her at moments, but I don't think Claire ever imagines what's coming for Claire at the end of the film. You know, I don't think she is actually worried. I think she's more like, I need to use this somehow.
Great. Well, hey, Sara, thank you very much for talking to us about Superhost. Can't wait to talk to you again on your next project.